Thanks, Last Count Corla. Our relationship with Ukraine is becoming increasingly hot and cold. Government spokespeople continue that line about the country standing resolutely behind Ukraine, and yet it looks like we're selling alumina to the Russian war machine. During his recent visit, certain government ministers, I was worried they'd actually been physically attached to President Zelensky. They were standing so close to him in the pictures, and yet we're now offering them our best broken-down armoured cars. And now we have a situation where we are systematically cutting the supports for Ukrainian civilians living here. That's not to say our level of support shouldn't taper. There's absolutely a case for tapering. But my concern is making the changes to the accommodation recognition payment now, making it less attractive, while at the same time ending the remaining state-provided hotel accommodation. It's the culmination of these two changes at a time when we know there's already wide pressures across the private rental accommodation. It's that combination that I'm particularly concerned about. Because the ARP works, and we know that it works, it supports 41,000, about 50% of the Ukrainians living in our country right now are supported through this particular payment. So it works in that central goal of providing accommodation to those who need it. It works in providing that accommodation at a far more reasonable price. It's about €11 per night per Ukrainian supported using the ARP versus €48 for those using full state accommodation. It's effective in terms of promoting integration as well. The whole idea of the hosting model has enabled Ukrainians living with Irish families to get a better sense of Ireland, be better linked in to education, to job opportunities, to community, to sport. And it has, as Deputy Murphy has said, it has kept Ukrainians out of the international protection system. And I've argued throughout this, our Ukrainians being here, that it would be a huge mistake to put the international protection system, which we all know is already under huge strain, to direct Ukrainians to that, because it could not cope with the numbers that would be affected. And there is national support for this. The most recent polling done earlier this year shows 67% of Irish people still supporting Ukrainians through the accommodation recognition payment. And the final point I make, and it's a point that we should bear in mind, because when we listen to the media, and we know this is an ongoing war, and in recent months it appears in some elements that Ukraine is doing better, but Ukraine is still a dangerous place for civilians. About 250 civilians killed in the month of April, the most recent month. 250 in a month. Over 1,000 injured. Ukraine is still a dangerous place, and it is not so easy for people to expect to bring themselves, vulnerable family members, children back to what is still a war zone. So for this reason, at a time when we have a system that works, and at a time when we are cutting away another part of our state support through direct state accommodation, I think it is the wrong time to bring this proposal forward, and I'll be opposing it on behalf of the Green Party.